in China.
Yes, a lot of people like me joined the lunar exploration program. I think mostly because of their interest. I think they think that such job could satisfy their internal needs to explore unknown world.
And what about the Europeans, Roger?
Well, I think the Europeans are very keen to go to Mars. We have certainly a very great capability of scientists. But let me first congratulate the young scientists and engineers in your country. This is a remarkable success. I think you should be proud of what you have done, and I am very impressed by this performance. Mm-hmm. The fact that you have young people more than before is also a dramatic change in the evolution of space. In the Western world, we have seen an aging population of scientists. We have seen that the scientists were getting older without any replacement by the young generation. There is one exception in the world, and this is this country. It's remarkable what you are doing. So I think there will be no difficulty to create the same enthusiasm that you created for the moon to go to Mars and maybe beyond with instrumentation of high technology.
I don't understand the reasons why. Because there is a lack of interest in space and science?
I think it's a problem of education. It's a problem of education of the young generation. If you abandon the young generation and you don't motivate it, you don't offer careers for this young generation, they will go to banking, to be lawyers where they can make more money. If education is at the center of the politics of the country, like your president says, I think then you can motivate the young generation and go to Mars and go to beyond the solar system.
You know, China is actually a latecomer in the area of space exploration. It only happened about 10 or 20 years ago, but now it's developing very fast. And China has trained a batch of young engineers and scientists. And it seems that Chinese people are more and more interested in science and math. Is it the case that in the U.S., the Americans are not so keen on science and math as they did before?
True. There's much less interest, much less commitment, and much more tendency to look for things that pay well and are not so hard to do.
What is the reason behind it?
How about laziness?
I think President Obama has been taken to encourage young people to be more interested in mathematics, in science, in engineering, so that it is not just a personal interest, it's a problem of national strength and competitiveness.
I think when an American student tries to decide what to do with his or her life, they are principally motivated by the question of what can I do with my knowledge and talents that will be of some value. And if the answer to that ends up being make money for myself, then I think we've really failed to inspire them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's come back to the moon exploration. When we are talking about getting to the moon and setting up maybe a lab or even a base on the moon, how much it will help people to have a sustained stay in other planets, in other celestial bodies. Will that kind of experience help?
Well, I assume it would, yes. If you think in terms of the human race expanding into space as a means of perpetuating itself, in much the same way that our distant ancestors spread all over the entire Earth and diversified into a wide variety of climates and settings, and succeeded in perpetuating humanity by doing it. Mm-hmm. If you think of it in those terms, then wherever we go, we're essentially establishing a bud, a blooming, a shoot off of the human tree. Mm-hmm. And that shoot must contain all of the functions that the tree itself has. Mm-hmm. The idea that you have to be a space scientist in order to be interested in space, or you have to be an aerospace engineer in order to fly in space, is historically backward. It's a future that allows all kinds of people with all kinds of interests and all kinds of occupations to work together to form a civilization that is spacefaring and even space-based is a very appealing, very attractive idea. And it's one that I know young people do respond to, even before they get the idea that they might make more money as lawyers.
Yes, indeed. That's a very nice metaphor. We have a chute up there in the moon. And you're now watching a special program, Journey to the Moon, a coverage of China's second lunar probe, Chang'e-2. Our program will be back. Please take a look at the review of what Chang'e-2 has been through.
北京飞行正常。
嫦娥2号卫星准确进入预定轨道，此次发射获得圆满成功。
China's shooting for the moon. With its second lunar probe, our reporters going to the core systems to see how and talk to designers and staff to find out why. On-the-spot analysis of the Chang'e-2. Watch Journey to the Moon only on CCTV News.
You're now watching a special broadcast Journey to the Moon, the coverage on Chang'e-2, it's China's second lunar probe to the moon. To have more international perspective, we are joined by several journalists and scientists from all over the world. Let me introduce them to you. This is Mr. Terence Terashima, our correspondent in Tokyo, Mr. Jabin Jacob, Senior Research Fellow at India's Institute of Peace and Conflict Studies in New Delhi, and also Jeff Neptune from Washington, D.C., and also Carl Berquist, Minister for International Relations Department at ESA. Let me start with Terence. Terence, I know that Japan has similar lunar exploration projects. What do you think of China's Chang'e lunar exploration projects?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question again, please?
Terence, I know that Japan has a similar lunar exploration project, but what do you think of China's Chang'e-2 project? What is your estimate?
Well, I have talked to the official at JAXA, the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, and the official said that it is hard to evaluate the China's project at the moment because they have the only information they have is what is made public by the press. But they did say that because of the strong government backing and the big budget compared to the Japanese stern budget, the China's exploration project will surpass or will be achieved fairly soon.
And Jabin, India has a similar lunar exploration project. Does India feel competitiveness with China when the lunar exploration is concerned? Jabin?
I think so, to a certain extent, yes. But in India, we look at this program, the Chinese space exploration program, from a number of perspectives. From the scientist point of view, I think most scientists think, well, China has done pretty well, and this is something that needs to be emulated, that can be, replicated. But from the point of view of people who study China, like I do, what I find significant is the fact that how much of symbolism goes into China's space exploration program. This is a very big national event. For example, Chang'e is being launched today on China's National Day. From the government's point of view, I think what is notable is the fact that China's exploration program is sort of a model for other countries. The fact that China is a developing country and has managed to have a successful space exploration program is something that most developing countries think is a very good example to be followed. And this is something that India pays attention to.
And Jabin, what is the Indian
Yes.
lunar exploration program focusing on? Is there any special areas or interest from the Indian side?
I mean, broadly, I think we are on the same line of progress or line of focus as far as the lunar exploration program is concerned. Into 2013, both China and India are hoping to have lunar rovers on the surface of the moon. Scientific objectives are primary. Like the Chandrayaan mission, the first Chandrayaan mission, one of the notable achievements of that was the discovery of water on the moon. So scientific discoveries exploiting potential for mineral deposits on the surface of the moon